Just joining us, we have a bit.ly link, or you can scan the QR code to get access to our slide deck today. Our slide deck does have active links in it that you can click and use as resources after this session. So I do recommend bookmarking this bit.ly link or saving this slide for another time so that you have access to it. And of course, you have access to the link on our catalog as well if you want to follow along.
Lolita, there was a quick question. So some of you had a question because there's several of you together in one room and you want to make sure that everyone gets credit. So I would just go ahead and add your team member's name and into just the chat, so then it can be recorded into the chat.
Yep, we can do that. Wonderful. I see some messages coming in, colleagues who are streaming this together. No problem. Okay, in the interest of time, we're going to jump right in. We have so many tools that we are excited to share with you today about Canva, and some of these tips and tricks are just the tip of the iceberg. Like, there's so many more things that you can do, and Canva is always adding new things to help teachers create innovative resources with fun designs to engage their learners. So today we're going to try to cover a range of usability, so we can start right from the very beginning. If you're logging into Canva for the very first time, all the way up to video creation. So some of it might be a refresher and some of it might be some new learning today. So thank you all for joining us today. So again, bit.ly link is on the screen and you can scan the QR code or access it from the catalog. So you have two sessions today. You are in our first session, which will end at 10:40. You'll have a 10-minute break, and then you'll jump into your second session, which starts at 10:50. So again, my name is Lolita Rico. I'm joined by Tony Spitzberg today, who is also a tech coach. We're 2 of 5 coaches on the EdTech team, and we saw lots of familiar faces today from our Voyager program and just site trainings that we've been providing. So thank you all for joining us. And again, on chat, we have Harmina Omoto, a wonderful principal from Shoal Creek. So our essential learning that ties all of our sessions together today is how can we leverage data to design and implement high quality instruction that addresses the diverse learning needs of every student. So with Canva, you'll see in a wide array of tools today that can engage your students in exciting creative learning activities, giving them access to designs where they can demonstrate their learning in fun ways, and also utilize some tools that can help streamline content creation for you as the teacher as well. We will cover 4 main topics: getting started with Canva, so getting started like very first time, where to find your teams. Then we'll access the template library, ready-made resources for teacher efficiency. And then we have additional features that you can use to engage your students, and video creation at the very end. So part 1, just getting started. So Canva has been making lots of changes to their dashboard. So you might have noticed in the top right-hand corner, you have a drop-down with different teams. Most of us are all rostered into the archive Poway, which was the original umbrella. But if you toggle between your sites, you can ensure that you're creating new content in the team that is specific to your school site. If you have designs like me and Tony do that were built before in archived Poway Unified, you can always copy designs that are housed in there and transfer them to your school site team. So there's not a way to click and drag the existing design, but you can copy it and move it to the design. But something to keep in mind is that when you do make a copy and you edit the copy that's in archived, it will not make changes in lifetime. So treat it as a brand new copy, fresh start with the designs for you to update. They now incorporated a new tab called Projects. So if you're an organizer like me and you want to create things into nice, neat little folders like your Google Drive looks like, you can create project folders now. So you can organize it by months, you can organize it by units. This is where you can start kind of organizing your designs that you use throughout the year with students and putting them in a way that makes sense for you. They now also have a star feature. So if you know that you'll be accessing certain slide decks frequently at certain points of the year, you can star them from your dashboard under recent designs so that it will be on the left-hand side under create a design for you to easily access without having to scroll through all your recent designs and search for the content that you've been working on. So this is a great way to have designs at your fingertips, ready to go, because we know your time is valuable. And sometimes when you create more designs, it just gets really overloaded with copies of things that look similar. So star them if you need them for quick access. Okay, so starting a design, you have that purple button, top left-hand corner, create a design, and you also have a bunch of widgets across the top. So this may change depending on how frequently you access certain designs, but generally you'll see these type of designs across the top for quick access to those designs that you may need. You also have the option to upload slide decks, which I will go over in just a little bit. So these are some new design features that they had when they released a new design, the glow up, if you saw that. Okay, so now we're going to dive into some of the new fun features that they have for creating presentation slide decks. So one of the ways that they have enhanced presentations is the ability to customize your presentations from pre-made templates. So most of you already know they have an extensive library of pre-made templates for presentations. So that is where you can get started. So if you're joining us in your account, you can select a slide deck. When you select a slide deck in the design button at the top left-hand corner, you'll notice that there's 3 categories now in addition to templates. The second one is the layout. So now let's say you want to add more slides to the template that they already had made, but you want to keep the layout to make it streamlined with the rest of the design. You can click on layout and you can add more slides within the same theme. So this is a great way to add in new content to existing presentations and not have to click and add in each element as you go. So it's a great time saver. And then the last one is style. So let's say you have your pre-made templates, you have a slide deck that you like from previous years, but you want to give it a refresh, a little facelift. So you can go to styles and select any of the color palettes to change the color palette and fonts with just one click, and it'll change all your slides for you in seconds. So that way you don't have to go through, double click. You don't have to drag in any icons, copy and paste, none of that. You can just change it all at once real quick with the style feature now. Elements has an extensive library of all kinds of images that you can imagine. So they have anything from photographs to emojis to basic shapes that you can use and customize. And they have thousands and thousands of safe shapes and designs that your students also have access to. So this will cut down on the need to Google search images or take screenshots off of Google because they're all built and stored within Canva. So your students have access to that library just like you do to make very nice and engaging designs. If you have designs or photographs in Google Drive, you can connect Google Drive under the Uploads tab. So within the Uploads tab, you can connect Google Drive in one of 2 ways. You can either click the 3 dots and then connect Google Drive, or when you are presented with the icons on the landing page, you can simply click the Google Drive triangle. And students and yourself can connect your Google Drive to import in any images, PDFs, documents, any type of artifacts that you have in your Google Drive. This is a great, seamless way to bring in content that you already have without having to download it to your device and then drag it into Canva. Okay, and another great new feature that they have is the introduction of brand kits. So, if your administrator had reached out to our ed tech team, we were able to load in your school logos, school colors, and school fonts so that if you're creating any newsletters, for example, or any club outreach items, family letters, you're able to keep school logos, colors, and fonts consistent when you're creating those communication documents with your families and students. So if you go into any design, so if you open a poster or a presentation, and then you click on the CO brand, you should see your school logo, school colors, and titles that you can click and use right away. Okay, so one presentation quick tip is they have a background remover, which is one of their most widely used tools in Canva. And this is considered one of their magic tools. So it's powered by AI to recognize the background to remove it so that you can use any design in any way that you'd like. So I'm going to demonstrate here how you would use the background remover. So this is a picture of my beloved dog, and he is my pride and joy. I use him in a lot of our designs because he's the perfect model. So from here, in a presentation, you would click on the photo, and you'll notice that it's selected with the circles on the corner. Click BG Remover, and it will instantly remove the background. You can resize the photo, you can move it to another location, and you can also copy it and add it to other places in your design as well. So with one click, you can clean up any photos that you have and turn them into icons that you can use throughout your presentation. Okay. So now that was just kind of the getting started with Canva, the basics and just general navigation. Now we'll take a look into the template library. So Canva has been working very hard in creating education-facing templates that teachers can use. So you can go into your Canva dashboard, head over to the templates on the left-hand side of your dashboard and select education. And you'll see that they have it sorted by subjects. So you can have ELA, math, science, visual arts, designs. If you click the arrow, you'll see their other subjects that they have. You can also decide to sort by grade. So let's say you want to go directly to grade level. So you'll select the grade tab and you'll notice that they have all the little backpacks with the numbers on them. Clicking the arrow will take you to grades 4, 5, 6, and up. They have lessons created all the way up through high school, so you can use this at any time. And you can also filter them by resource type. So let's say you're just looking for presentations. You can click on resource type within the templates and then select presentations to access their pre-made templates. Now it's important to review the resources that they do have. They do put in general content in there, but it does take a teacher's expertise to verify whether or not it aligns with our curriculum and the lesson that you're teaching. So I would say make a copy, review the content that they have in there. The designs should be good to go, but I'll always check over the content that they have in there. Okay, now some features for efficiency. Here are some of the ways that you can use their enhanced tools to create diverse resources for you or your students. So from a presentation, you have the ability to transform the slide deck into a summary document. So this has been particularly helpful for, say, students who are absent or even for students who need that access to a summary of a slide deck that may have a lot of content. So this is a great way to capture a snapshot of the main points in a learning slide deck and provide that additional layer for your students. So to do that, you would open up a slide deck, and then at the top, there are tools that you can use. These tools are hidden underneath the Resize tab across the top. When you go to Resize and scroll to the bottom, it's housed under their Magic Switch tools. So these are AI powered. You would head on down to Transform into Doc, and then it will present you with a new menu. In step 2, you would click Summary, and then transform into doc. And it'll take a few moments to kind of read over and scan the content in your slide deck. And then click open doc in step 3, and then it'll present a executive summary of your content in the presentation. So again, this is a great companion piece to provide for your students after they've done the learning with the presentation. You can always take the bullet points that they provide in the executive summary and give your students that additional access point to the learning and the content. Another great feature that's also housed right under the resize tool and under the Magic Switch family is the translation tool. So thinking about our EL learners and how they might access our content, and even families who might want to look into what are the things that my students are learning in class. You can provide them copies of translated slides with one click. So they have a ton of languages to choose from. In this case, I just selected Spanish. And then you can even change the tone of the slide deck. So if you wanted to make it more professional, if you're doing an ELAC meeting, for example, or if you wanted to make it more friendly or conversational, you can always change the tone of the language that it translates to. Once you hit that translate button, it will create a new copy of your presentation slide deck in the translated language to be shared separately. Another great feature that they have now is the ability to bring in your slide decks from Google. So if you're like me and had created tons of presentations in Google Slides based on the units that you're teaching, and you're trying to now use that same content without recreating the wheel, and you want to bring it into Canva to use some of their enhanced features like their element library or some of their magic tools, there is a way now where you can upload your Google Slides into Canva to continue that customization. So the first step you'll need to do is go to your Google slide deck. Under the File tab, you'll need to download it as a PDF. So once you select PDF document and it downloads a copy onto your device, you now have the ability to move that into Canva for step 2. So download as a PDF first, and then head back over to Canva to your main dashboard. And just like the tools that we mentioned earlier today, that upload tool is now going to come in handy. So you would go straight to upload. You'll be presented with a portal to upload your content. You can click and drag if you'd like, or click the upload files button and search for it on your device. And then once you bring it in, it'll work its magic and it'll import your Google Slides into Canva for you as a Canva design under recent designs for easy access. And then from there, you'll be able to edit the text, edit the content, add in images, add in elements from their library, and use Canva's design tools to enhance your Google Slides that you already have created in your Google Drive. Okay, and this is the fun part. So when you're giving a presentation, you want to engage your learners, and your students love interactive features where they get to see some fun aspects pop up in your lessons when you're delivering a presentation. So these are some quick shortcuts that they have built in when you're in full presentation mode. So just like how I'm presenting the slide deck right now, there are some quick shortcuts on your keyboard that when you press them, you'll be able to have some interactive features. That's a great way to kind of spice up your presentations, make it more exciting for your students. The tools are built in to your toolbar. So if you're presenting and you hover over the toolbar at the bottom, this little keyboard icon that they have will bring up the menu in your presentation to be able to use any of those features. And if you hit any of the numbers between 1 and 9, you also get a quick timer too. If you want your students to turn and talk, share with a partner, you can pop up a timer real quick so that everyone can see how much time they have left to discuss. And of course, when you're done presenting, you can always add in a little mic drop and the kids go wild. So these are great shortcuts to engage your learners in the presentation and keep their attention while you're delivering the content. Okay, so now we have about 18 minutes left, and Tony is going to take over and show us some really great tricks in video creation in Canva.
All right, let's take a look at video creation here. I'm just going to share my screen and put it in presentation mode. Just a second here. Okay. All right, there we go. So Canva has an embedded video creation feature that both teachers and students can use. And it's a really great tool to enhance learning because teachers can use it, for example, or I'm sorry, students can use it, for example, to record themselves performing readers theater from a benchmark unit. They can host a math talk via Canvas discussion and take you through exactly how they've solved a problem and all of the steps. They could dress up as a historical figure and memorize and give a speech from a lesson in TCI. And maybe a group in science could record themselves performing an experiment, and they could talk through the experiment and explain the results. So let's take a look at how we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take you through a little screenshot walkthrough here. So the first thing that you would do would be to bring up Canva from My Plan, and then you'd click Create a Design. I'm going to demo this live by putting my video into a presentation slide. So if you'd like to do that, you could choose that, or you could use an existing design to embed a video. So then the next thing you're going to do is hover over this uploads button here on the bottom left, and then that's going to bring up this record yourself feature. So as soon as you click the record yourself feature, you're going to be brought to this screen. And typically this settings opens up, and then you can check to make sure that this is the camera that you want to use and that this is the correct microphone. Sometimes people have an external screen that also has a microphone and a camera, and you just want to make sure that the camera that you want to use is selected. So as soon as you click that record button, it'll start a 3-second countdown. So once you're ready, the countdown ends and then it records. And after it's recorded and you've got it set exactly how you'd like it, it often appears, the video appears as a little bubble on the bottom left hand of the screen. So you're going to want to detach that bubble. In my case, I'm going to want my video to be a square that I can size and that I can move. So you right click on the bubble and you might have to scroll down and then you click detach, and then that allows you to place and resize the video. So once everything looks good and you're ready to share it, you can click the share button at the top right-hand side of your screen. And then you're going to be given a lot of options to share the video, but the main ones that I'm going to cover are number one, public view link, because you can get that link and then you could post it on a Canvas discussion board. You can also create a QR code, and that allows anybody who's interested in seeing the video to scan that QR code, which will take them directly to the video. You can also embed the video into a Canvas page, or you can embed it into an assignment, or you could simply download the video onto your computer. So with that said, I am going to share my screen and walk you through exactly what this looks like. All right. I've shared it correctly here. There we are. Lolita, can you see my screen? Okay, great. So what we're going to do is click Create a Design. And then I'm going to choose Presentation because like I said before, I'd like a single page with a video that I can show. So I choose Presentation here. And then it pulls up all of the choices that I can use. I'm going to go ahead and go with this daily class agenda one. And it asks if I want to apply all 10 pages of the template. But for my purposes, I just want this heading page. So I'm going to click on that. And then I know that I'm going to want my video to go in the center. So I'm going to highlight these elements and click delete so that I can get rid of them. Next, I'm going to go to the uploads here. And as I hover over it, there is the record yourself option. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then it's going to take me to this screen where I can check my settings here. If that didn't open, I would click on the little gear icon that would bring that down. And this looks correct. So I'm going to click record, and that's going to allow me to record my video after that 3-second countdown that I mentioned earlier. So here goes. And now I'm recording my video. So I'll click done there. And then I'll simply go to save and exit. And sometimes it takes a moment for the video to appear. And now I'm recording my video. It automatically plays. So I'll click done there. So I don't want to appear as this little circle at the bottom left hand of my screen. So as I mentioned during our playthrough, I'm going to right click on that. And then I'm going to click detach video. So now the video is movable. I'm going to get rid of this little circular frame here. And then I can make it smaller and I can put it in the center of the page. And then I can use a lot of those techniques that Lolita shared earlier to really make it nicer. So assuming that I've done those things and I'm ready to share, I'm going to click on the share button here. And I'm presented with a lot of options. It's not all of the options, so I'll click on this see all here. And now you can see that once again, I'm presented with a public view link that I can share in a Canvas discussion board or an assignment. I can create a QR code from the video. I can embed the video in a Canvas page as well, or I could simply download it. So I'm going to get us back to our presentation here. Of course, some technical issues. Just a moment. Lolita, are you able to share yours?
Yeah, sure. I'll share one
Thanks.
more time. Let's see. All right. And we're back. So thank you, Tony, for walking us through the video creation in Canva. And there's also great resources that we have too. Tony, did you want to talk a little bit about these?
Yeah, sure. We have 3 quick guides that you'll see. We have a quick guide for getting started with Canva. We also have a quick guide for the video creation that I took us through earlier. And then we have a quick guide for podcasting with Canva, which is not that different from using video with Canva, except you're simply toggling off the video switch there, but the editing is very similar. The great thing about these quick guides is that although they are quick guides, they do, in a very straightforward way, go into more depth on all of the topics that we've covered today. Lolita, I'm having a little difficulty seeing the presentation
Hey,
here.
no problem. So the video creation in Canva is a great way to replace the flip tool. So there's been some conversations of how can we still enhance students' voice and choice without Flipgrid. So with Canva, now they have the embedded video recording tool and also their podcasting tool. So your students still have the opportunity to have the authentic audience and the ability to capture their voice and their thoughts in a very creative way by using Canva design. You can embed these in a Canvas discussion post, just like Tony shared with us, and have that conversation and collaboration in your classroom. All right, so we're coming up at the end of our session today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please submit any questions. I know we didn't have a very interactive session today, but we are all ears about your questions and comments. You can always reach out to the EdTech team at edtech@Poway USD to request additional trainings if you'd like for your team or for yourself, or just to inquire about any resources that you want to start new projects with your students. So thank you again for joining us and have a great Progrow Day.
Bye, everybody.